Okay, my parents were missionaries in North India for the Methodist Episcopal group. They sent them over there. And they were there for 5 years. My brother and sister were born in India. And then when they came back, they got stationed, of all places, in Minneapolis, Minnesota. In Minneapolis, I was born a year later. Yeah,
Okay.
5/19/28 is my birthday. Yeah. The parents were stationed there at a settlement house run by the company. After 5 years there, they moved down to, they were stationed at a settlement house in Chicago. So I went to school in Chicago until I went to college in a small women's college and it was Rockford College. Oh dear. Oh, important for me. My sister was older and went to the University of Chicago, where she got interested in anthropology courses at Chicago. So she got talking about it, and I got interested in anthropology. I looked up places in the country where you could take anthropology courses and found that UNM, University of New Mexico, had one of the best departments. So I ended up planning to come to New Mexico. Actually, I got my first job here at this building as a wait person. And then I went to Colorado, and I worked there for a year or so. But I ended up coming back here and met a guy who was just trying to get out of the Army early. And he was thinking about going to UNM too. One way and another, we got assigned to digging a pit house. We dug a pit house in northern New Mexico, and he was, of course, lousy with a shovel because he was a New Yorker, and New Yorkers never use a shovel. Yeah. But one way and another, after a while, we got married, and he was a wonderful guy. So we came back here to Albuquerque. He went to UNM and got his degrees. So he became Dr. Jerry Brody. And then his first job was in Pennsylvania, so we took off for Pennsylvania. And then he had a job in New Orleans. And that's where our two older children younger children were born. No, older children. Yeah, that's you guys. Yeah. It was an interesting experience. Yankees should not try and make it in the South. Yeah. So, and then one of the people on the board wanted the job for her guy, so she fired Jerry. So we decided to come back to New Mexico, and he ended up with a museum job in Santa Fe for a year. They were going to build a museum here in Albuquerque, and it was going to be anthropology. So they asked him to come down and take over. Jerry was asked to set up the museum at the university, the Museum of Anthropology. So he set it up. I did begin to volunteer to make trunks that would include stuff that would tell the story of the Native American people here who were here from way, way back and made it first as hunter-gatherers and then as early agriculturalists. And agriculture in New Mexico is not easy. And they made it. And I think it was important that the school kids realized how much they contributed to our knowledge. So I did volunteer to set up the trunks, and we did one a week. And there were other volunteers who would take them out to the schoolrooms. So that was good, and that's about my profession right there. This was our beginning. So we did indeed start recording, by which I mean you draw them, you photograph them, and you map them. And so I did the drawing, Jerry did the photographing, and we more or less doubled up on the mapping. And believe me, it's a full-time job. Yeah. We did those petroglyphs, and we took our records to the government people to offer them to the government people, at which point they dubbed it Petroglyph National Monument. And that made me feel good. So Petroglyph National Monument started us out, and that's when we began to discover that there's an awful lot of petroglyphs in the state of New Mexico. There's a beautiful site just east of Albuquerque, and then there's another beautiful site down in the south, and then there's another one just between Albuquerque and Santa Fe. We did recruit some of the Archaeological Society people here in Albuquerque. We had a pretty good record of the petroglyphs that is to say the rock art in New Mexico, which we submitted to Santa Fe. And the records are available. One of our granddaughters told me that one of her teachers at UNM had used one of our images with me on it to make a point in one of the classes. So that was very satisfying.
The next question is a story about love.
Well, but that's me meeting Jerry. And the rest of you are the result of all that.
How long did it take you to realize that Jerry was the man for you?
Okay, I was born in Minneapolis. I went to school in Chicago. I had a brother and a sister who had been born in India, and they went to school in Chicago, of course, and then they took off. My parents then immediately got divorced. My brother got divorced and married and divorced again. My sister got divorced. And with this background, when you meet a guy, you have to kind of warn him that there might be problems.
Your family did not have a great history.
He did not have that kind of history of his family. On the other hand, he was, after working for 6 weeks, me with the shovel and him with the trowel. We did excavate a pit house, and after that we got married. So,
what did you learn about him while excavating the pit house?
That we could work together. And I think that this is a crucial point. I mean, sure, he's a real nice guy and all that, but I'm sure my parents thought of each other as nice guys, so but they didn't make it. I think we thought the same things were important.